Bellarmini. I am the Paint Diva, and today we're going to be doing a demonstration on how to paint an accent wall. Accent walls are very hot right now, and I'm going to go over the steps on how to paint it, how to cut in, and how to get nice straight lines. Most people are getting a little sick of beige, yet they're still a little bit afraid of trying a stronger, deeper color. So the best way to gradually get used to more color is to start with one wall, and that would be an accent wall. So today I'm going to teach you how to roll it out and how to cut it in and make sure you have a nice professional look when you're painting your accent wall. We're going to be painting this wall Anjou pear, which is a light yellowy green, a very 70s funky color. And we're going to be turning this wall into the chocolate brown, which is one of the affinity colors called French press. This is the only wall that will be an accent wall. So this is the wall that needs a nice cut-in straight line. Now, since we're completely changing these colors, what you don't want to have is a little gap and a little bit of space. So what you want to do is the walls that will have three colors, that color has to wrap around the corner. Okay, so now we're going to put a lighter color over the dark wall. Normally this is a situation where you would have to prime over this dark color first, but since we're using the aura, which is self-priming, it won't be necessary. Remember that paint dries darker, so at first when you open the paint and you look at it, that's not really an accurate description of what the color is going to look like when it's finished. As it dries, the color dries darker. First thing we're going to do is dip the brush in, only about an inch or so, brush it off, and then we're going to begin to cut in. Since these walls are really bumpy, I'm having trouble cutting in a straight line, so I'm going to revert to taping this off. Just make sure that you really press it down really well, because if you don't, the paint will bleed underneath the tape. So once we've got this all pressed down, it should help us get a nice straight line. Okay, and now we're going to just make sure that you don't load the paint on too heavy and too thick, because you don't want it to bleed, and then you can cut in. So we've started with the green color, the Anjou pear, and I've turned the corner so that when we cut in, you don't see the existing underlying color underneath. And now that I've turned the corner and I let it dry, I'm going to use the angled brush. I'm going to stick the sharp end of it, the corner, up into the corner, and then pull down. Let your brush spread out and thin out, and then try to paint down a nice straight line. If you're worried that you won't be able to cut in a decent straight line, you can always tape it off. Okay, so we're going to continue painting. First thing you want to do is you want to get a roller. You're going to stick it on. And then we're going to pour the paint into the pan. You pour the paint into your pan. It's going to drip, so have your brush nearby so that you can clean it up and wipe it off the edges of your can. Then you're going to take your roller and you're going to have to load it up. Now the first time that you use the roller, the paint's not going to go on very well, but as you keep using it, by the time you get to the second or third pass, it'll be pretty well loaded up. And we're going to test out the aura paint using a light color over a dark color. Now normally when you go over a dark brown like this, normally you would have to prime a color like this, but since the aura has the primer right in the paint, priming is not necessary. So let's see how well the aura covers over the chocolate brown. I like to use a W motion going across. I'm applying even pressure. And then you want to pass it back over. Now if this was a bigger wall, I would have attached a long extension pole so that I can reach further away, but since I'm in a small wall and it's not very high, I don't really need my extension pole today. Okay, and then just move on to your next section. since this is not a smooth wall, I have a thicker nap of a roller. This is a 1/2 inch nap. It's for a semi-smooth surface. Now you're going to notice that we've already cut in, so I don't have to go all the way around the edge. Okay, and we're going to just continue like that until the whole wall's done. I began to run out of paint. I started to spread it a little too thin, and here I ended up with some spots where you can see the chocolate brown coming through. So we'll just do a quick touch-up coat to fix that. Okay, so we're ready to take our blue tape off. We've painted both of our walls. We've let the wall dry, but don't let it dry too long. You don't want to wait a couple days before you take this tape off, because trust me, you'll take the paint off with it. And ladies, this is not like we're waxing the eyebrows. You don't want to just yank the tape off the wall, because you're going to rip the paint right off the wall with it. You want to take it nice and slow and steady and peel it off. Also, if the weather's humid, not a good idea to do a project like this. Wait until the weather's nice and dry, because when you pull the tape off the wall, you'll probably pull the paint off with it. So wait for a nice cool day, or turn that air on before you do this project. Okay, so let's take that tape off slow and steady. There you go. That's how you get a nice clean line, and that's how you do an accent wall. Looks great. Divalicious.